transform a small space into a peaceful retreat. Transforming a small space into a peaceful retreat begins with understanding the essence of modern living. In today's world, where urbanization pushes us into compact homes and limited land availability, the need for creating sanctuaries within confined areas becomes more pressing than ever. People are seeking balance, calm, and a sense of nature in their daily lives, even when surrounded by the constant movement of the city. Architecture and design are no longer just about shelter or aesthetics. They are about crafting environments that nurture both body and mind. One of the driving forces behind this trend is the awareness of wellness. A home is not merely a place to sleep, but a personal ecosystem that supports health, relaxation, and creativity. Small living areas can, when designed thoughtfully, embody these values more effectively than vast, impersonal spaces. In a compact home or garden, every inch matters, every corner has potential, and every design choice influences the atmosphere. This is where the magic lies, the opportunity to transform limitation into inspiration. Designers are paying close attention to natural light, ventilation, and spatial flow. In a small home, the placement of windows becomes crucial. Large panes of glass invite sunlight, connect the indoors with the outdoors, and create the illusion of openness. Sliding doors or folding glass walls are not only space-saving solutions, but also visual bridges between interior comfort and exterior tranquility. The idea is to dissolve boundaries and blur the line between house and garden, between inside and outside, between functionality and serenity. Furniture plays a transformative role. Multifunctional pieces, such as sofas that convert into beds or tables that fold into walls, allow a room to adapt fluidly throughout the day. But beyond utility, design trends push toward elegance and subtle luxury, even in tight quarters. Materials like light oak, bamboo, terrazzo, and recycled stone are increasingly popular, not only for their sustainable qualities, but also for the calming textures they bring. The tactile experience of natural finishes provides comfort that artificial materials rarely achieve. Gardens, whether on balconies, rooftops, or small backyards, are vital extensions of living areas. These green spaces act as oxygen-generating sanctuaries, where even a handful of plants can reshape the mood of a space. Vertical gardens, planter walls, and hanging pots maximize greenery without occupying precious floor space. Water features, even as small as a tabletop fountain, introduce soothing soundscapes that counterbalance the chaos outside. The integration of garden design into compact architecture reflects a growing acknowledgement that peace comes from sensory harmony. The sight of greenery, the sound of flowing water, the fragrance of herbs, and the feel of fresh air. The style trends guiding these transformations are rooted in simplicity and authenticity. Minimalism continues to dominate, not as a sterile reduction of possessions, but as a thoughtful curation of essentials. Each item within the space tells a story or serves a purpose. Scandinavian design influences remain strong, emphasizing clean lines, neutral palettes, and cozy textures like wool and linen. At the same time, Japanese aesthetics, particularly the concept of wabi-sabi, are gaining ground. This philosophy values imperfection, natural aging, and the beauty of simplicity. When merged, these styles create what is known as Japandi, a blend of Japanese serenity and Scandinavian functionality, perfectly suited for compact retreats. Colour theory also plays a powerful role in shaping small spaces. Soft neutrals such as beige, ivory, and warm grey remain foundational, providing a backdrop of calmness. Earthy tones like terracotta and olive green are making a comeback, grounding interiors with a sense of organic connection. Accents in muted blues and deep forest greens echo the presence of nature, reinforcing the retreat-like quality of the environment. The overall aim is to create an atmosphere where the mind can rest, where visual noise is minimized, and where subtle details replace grand statements. Technology is another element quietly influencing design. Smart home systems, discreetly integrated, allow residents to control lighting, temperature, and soundscapes effortlessly. Imagine arriving home to lights that dim automatically, music that plays softly, and blinds that lower to shield you from the city lights. In a small space, these technologies amplify comfort without overwhelming the senses. The emphasis remains on seamless integration, technology that disappears into the background, leaving only its benefits visible. Current design practices emphasize sustainability, recognizing that true peace cannot be achieved without harmony with the environment. Small homes become laboratories for eco-conscious living. Energy-efficient lighting, solar panels scaled for rooftops, and rainwater collection systems are no longer futuristic concepts, but practical realities. Using reclaimed materials, low VOC paints, and eco-friendly insulation demonstrates responsibility while also creating healthier living environments. The retreat becomes not just peaceful for its inhabitants, but respectful of the world beyond its walls. As we look at trends shaping the future of compact architecture and garden design, the focus leans toward personalization. No two retreats should feel identical, because peace itself is subjective. For some, it means a meditative nook with cushions and soft lighting. For others, it may be a vibrant garden corner filled with herbs and flowers. Designers respond by encouraging modularity, spaces that can evolve with the owner's lifestyle, whether for meditation, remote work, or family gatherings. The retreat is dynamic, capable of adjusting to new seasons of life without losing its core identity of tranquility. Another emerging trend is biophilic design, which emphasizes the deep connection between humans and nature. It goes beyond simply adding plants. Biophilic spaces mimic natural patterns, curved pathways instead of rigid hallways, dappled lighting that mirrors the play of sunlight through trees, and textures that replicate stone, bark, or earth. Research consistently shows that such environments lower stress, enhance creativity, and improve well-being. In small areas, biophilic design creates the sensation of expansiveness, reminding residents that nature cannot be confined by square footage. In the broader cultural context, the transformation of small spaces into peaceful getaways reflects a shift in values. Luxury is no longer defined by the size of one's property, but by the quality of experience within it. A studio apartment overlooking a modest garden can offer more serenity than a mansion filled with unused rooms. People are increasingly drawn to intentional living, choosing fewer things, smaller spaces, but deeper experiences. This is where architecture, interior design, and landscape design converge to curate lives that are not only efficient but fulfilling, not only beautiful but meaningful. Ultimately, the journey of creating a peaceful retreat in a small area is about harmony between architecture and nature, between function and beauty, between sustainability and comfort. It is about reimagining limitations as opportunities, crafting spaces that support the rhythms of modern life while offering timeless refuge. This shift is not a passing trend, but a reflection of where human aspirations are heading, toward environments that nourish, protect, and inspire, no matter how limited the square footage may be. To continue the exploration of how compact spaces can become peaceful retreats, we must turn our attention to the practical strategies that allow architecture and landscape design to translate vision into reality. The theory of creating calm within small boundaries only comes alive when applied through tangible elements: layout, materials, spatial flow, and human experience. This section delves into the design principles, stylistic directions, and evolving garden concepts that shape modern small space living. The foundation of any design for a limited area is intelligent planning. A successful layout begins with a clear understanding of purpose. Every small space should be guided by a narrative. Is it meant to inspire relaxation, serve as a family hub, or provide a seamless blend of work and leisure? Once the narrative is defined, zones are created with subtle yet effective transitions. For example, a raised platform with natural wood flooring can designate a living area, while a lowered stone surface can mark a garden terrace. These physical cues allow each function to feel distinct, even within a single open plan. Flow is equally important. In traditional large homes, walls often separate functions, but in compact retreats, walls are replaced by transitions of texture, color, or light. Designers are increasingly relying on open-plan arrangements enhanced with sliding partitions, curtains, or glass dividers that maintain openness while offering privacy when needed. This flexible approach reflects how people now live, fluidly moving from work to leisure, from indoors to outdoors without the rigid divisions of the past. Materiality plays a central role in both function and atmosphere. Natural wood continues to dominate interiors, not only for its timeless beauty, but for its sensory warmth. Stone, when used in moderation, grounds the environment with a sense of permanence. Concrete, often seen as cold, is being reimagined through polished finishes, soft curves, and integration with warm accents like brass or rattan. The dialogue between hard and soft materials mirrors the balance of resilience and comfort that defines a retreat. Importantly, the emphasis is on authenticity, materials that reveal their true texture, whether in the grain of wood or the veins of marble, creating an environment that feels real, grounding the inhabitant in the present moment. Lighting design transforms the character of a compact space. Natural light is always prioritized, with skylights, clerestory windows, and mirrored surfaces used to maximize brightness. But artificial lighting carries equal weight in creating ambience. Layered lighting schemes combine ambient illumination, task-focused beams, and subtle accent lights. Warm, dimmable tones enhance the feeling of retreat, avoiding the sterile quality of harsh, cool light. Smart lighting systems allow users to shift moods instantly, from energizing brightness in the morning to calming glows in the evening. This orchestration of light guides emotional experience, reminding us that space is not static, but alive with rhythm. Gardens within limited footprints demand creativity. Balcony gardens, for example, are becoming canvases for vertical landscaping. Modular planter systems rise like living walls, filled with herbs, flowering plants, and even edible greens. Rooftop gardens are increasingly popular in urban areas, offering panoramic views while serving as private sanctuaries above the city. These elevated gardens emphasize not only beauty but also climate responsiveness, helping reduce urban heat while improving air quality. Even the smallest courtyards can be transformed into meditative havens through the thoughtful placement of a tree, a stone bench, and a small water element. The power lies not in size but in composition, the way each component interacts to form harmony. The role of water cannot be overstated. In compact retreats, water elements are scaled down but remain impactful. A shallow reflecting pool, a minimalist wall-mounted fountain, or even a series of ceramic bowls filled with water and floating candles introduces both visual calm and auditory tranquility. These features create a sensory buffer from urban noise, reminding inhabitants of the primal connection between water and relaxation. In combination with greenery, water completes the biophilic triad of sight, sound, and touch. Furniture design continues to evolve in response to compact living. Beyond multifunctionality, there is a growing emphasis on modularity. Sofas that can be rearranged into lounges, tables with adjustable heights, and shelving systems that expand vertically reflect a dynamic approach to living. Designers are exploring organic forms that avoid harsh angles, preferring rounded edges and flowing silhouettes. This shift not only saves space, but creates a softer psychological atmosphere. The retreat should feel inviting and adaptable, not rigid or overly calculated. Trends in aesthetics also point to a renewed celebration of craftsmanship. Handcrafted ceramics, woven textiles, and artisanal woodwork are finding their way into small retreats, adding layers of character and individuality. These elements counterbalance the sleekness of modern minimalism, ensuring that the retreat does not feel sterile, but soulful. Personalization becomes a crucial trend. Rather than following a single prescribed style, residents mix and match influences to reflect their identity. A small retreat becomes not just a product of design trends, but a canvas of self-expression. As sustainability continues to shape design, innovations are emerging to serve both environmental and aesthetic goals. Living roofs with native plants, walls insulated with natural fibers, and reclaimed wood flooring are no longer niche choices, but mainstream solutions. Solar glass technology now allows windows to generate energy, while rain chains replace traditional downspouts. doubling as decorative water features. These solutions merge practicality with beauty, ensuring that peace is sustained not just for the present generation, but for the future. The garden as a retreat space is undergoing its own evolution. Traditional lawns are giving way to wild, pollinator-friendly landscapes. Compact homes now feature micro-meadows, pocket forests, or Zen-inspired stone gardens. These concepts demonstrate a shift from ornamental design to ecological participation, where even the smallest garden contributes to biodiversity. Residents experience peace not only through aesthetic pleasure, but through the knowledge that their sanctuary supports life beyond their own. Psychological considerations also guide design decisions. In compact retreats, clutter becomes the greatest enemy of peace. Designers are integrating hidden storage within every element. Benches with concealed compartments, stairs that double as drawers, or headboards with built-in shelving. By keeping surfaces free and visual lines clear, these strategies foster a sense of order. The human mind, when confronted with openness and simplicity, responds with calm. Technology, while subtle, remains integral. Voice-controlled systems, automated irrigation for balcony gardens, and air purification integrated into ventilation systems quietly serve the resident. The philosophy here is invisible assistance. Technology should enhance without dominating. The future points toward homes that anticipate needs, adapt to habits, and create seamless comfort with minimal conscious effort from inhabitants. The cultural shift towards smaller, meaningful spaces reflects a broader movement in design philosophy. Homes are no longer judged solely by square footage, but by quality of experience. A tiny urban studio that opens into a lush balcony garden may provide more genuine retreat than sprawling suburban homes detached from nature. This change highlights a collective redefinition of luxury, moving away from excess and toward essence. In every respect, the compact retreat represents a microcosm of larger global design narratives: sustainability, wellness, authenticity, and personalization. These small sanctuaries mirror our collective desire to reconnect with nature, simplify our lifestyles, and create homes that heal. The principles applied in compact spaces often influence larger projects because the core lesson is universal. Peace is created not by scale, but by harmony. Thus, the transformation of small areas into peaceful getaways is not merely an architectural trend, but a cultural symbol. It embodies resilience, adaptability, and creativity in the face of limitation. By harnessing light, texture, greenery, and mindful design, even the most confined space becomes a canvas for serenity. And in doing so, it reflects the future direction of living itself, a future that prioritizes depth of experience over breadth of property, meaningful retreat over superficial luxury. Looking ahead, the future of small space design promises to push boundaries even further, merging architectural innovation, cultural values, and technological advancement into seamless environments. What we are witnessing is not just a passing fascination with minimalism or compact living, but a long-term movement toward redefining how we perceive and inhabit space. The final step in understanding how a tiny area becomes a peaceful getaway is to examine the horizon of trends and philosophies shaping the homes and gardens of tomorrow. The first major direction is the integration of adaptive architecture. Future homes are expected to evolve like living organisms, shifting and responding to the needs of their inhabitants in real time. Walls that fold away, ceilings that adjust to create openness or intimacy, and modular pods that can be reconfigured for different uses will become standard. This adaptability is driven by both necessity and desire. Urban density will continue to demand efficient solutions, but people will also crave freedom from static environments. A single room may serve as an office during the day, a dining area in the evening, and a yoga studio at night, all made possible through transformable structures. In parallel, material science is advancing rapidly, giving architects new tools to shape retreats that are both sustainable and sensorially rich. Bio-based composites, self-healing concrete, and transparent wood are examples of innovations already entering the market. These materials carry not only practical advantages, but emotional ones. Transparent wood, for instance, allows natural light to pass through while maintaining privacy, creating interiors bathed in soft illumination. Biodegradable finishes ensure that when spaces are renewed, waste does not linger in the environment. The peaceful retreat of the future will not only nurture its residents, but also leave a minimal footprint, honouring the delicate balance between human comfort and ecological responsibility. The garden, as an extension of compact living, is poised to become even more dynamic. Indoor farming technologies are shrinking in scale and cost, making it possible to integrate food production directly into living areas. Hydroponic walls, countertop aeroponic units, and rooftop aquaponics will turn retreats into micro-ecosystems that sustain both body and soul. Imagine a small balcony where herbs, vegetables, and edible flowers grow year-round, supported by automated systems that optimize water and nutrients. Beyond function, these gardens will reinforce the sense of being connected to natural cycles, reminding inhabitants daily of growth, renewal, and sustainability. Another emerging theme is the role of wellness technology. Future retreats will go beyond offering calm, they will actively support physical and mental health. Air quality monitors, circadian lighting systems, and soundscapes tailored to mood will merge into everyday life. A space will no longer be judged solely by how it looks, but by how it feels and how it contributes to human vitality. In compact areas, these technologies amplify the sense of retreat, creating an immersive cocoon where stress melts away and well-being takes center stage. Stylistically, trends point toward hybridity. While minimalism will remain influential, it will increasingly be softened by tactile warmth and cultural layering. Globalization exposes us to diverse design philosophies, and future retreats will embody this cross-pollination. A single home might combine Scandinavian clarity with Mediterranean warmth, Japanese restraint with Moroccan ornament, or African earthy tones with Nordic simplicity. The result is not chaos, but harmony, a curated mix that reflects a global consciousness and personal identity. This hybrid style mirrors the complexity of modern lives, diverse, interconnected, and deeply individual. Sustainability will continue to shape not just materials and gardens, but the very concept of ownership. Shared spaces, cooperative housing models, and community gardens are rising as alternatives to traditional private property. In this vision, peace is not confined within one's walls, but expanded into collective experiences. Residents of future cities may enjoy private micro-retreats within their homes, while also participating in larger communal sanctuaries, rooftop farms, meditation pavilions, or shared courtyards designed for connection and harmony. This blending of private retreat and communal belonging reflects an evolving definition of peace, not isolation, but balanced coexistence. Technological immersion will also redefine aesthetics. Augmented reality and projection technologies may allow surfaces to change color, texture, or scenery at will. A plain wall could transform into a forest at dawn or a starlit sky at night. In small retreats where physical change is limited, these virtual overlays expand emotional and sensory possibilities. Yet the challenge will be maintaining authenticity, ensuring technology enhances rather than overwhelms, reminding inhabitants of nature rather than replacing it. The future of small space retreats will also be deeply influenced by climate resilience. As weather patterns grow unpredictable, homes must adapt to floods, heat waves, and storms. Compact architecture will increasingly feature passive cooling strategies, rain-absorbing landscapes, and flexible shelters that withstand extremes while maintaining comfort. The peaceful getaway will no longer be a fragile bubble, but a resilient cocoon designed to shelter and protect while remaining open to light and air. Psychologically, the retreats of tomorrow will focus even more on the art of disconnection. In an era dominated by digital saturation, spaces that encourage unplugging will become treasures. Designers are already experimenting with digital detox rooms, soundproof meditation pods, and nature-immersed corners free of screens. The idea is not to reject technology entirely, but to create deliberate pauses, spaces where silence and presence are celebrated. For inhabitants of dense urban environments, these retreats will provide a rare luxury, the chance to listen to one's own thoughts without interruption. Trends in colour and texture will evolve with these philosophies. Future palettes are expected to move further toward earthy, grounding tones, deep clays, rich greens and sandy neutrals, balanced with brighter accents inspired by global craft traditions. Textures will favor natural irregularities, hand-woven fabrics, uneven ceramic glazes and reclaimed timber. These choices reflect a cultural craving for authenticity in an increasingly synthetic world. Peace will be found not in flawless perfection, but in the tactile reminder of human touch and natural imperfection. As we project forward, it becomes clear that small retreats are more than architectural solutions. They are reflections of shifting human aspirations. The future promises spaces that adapt fluidly, respect the planet, foster well-being, and express individuality. They will blend architecture, garden, and technology into unified experiences where every corner matters, every element contributes, and every moment feels intentional. In conclusion, the evolution of transforming small areas into peaceful getaways represents a profound cultural journey. From the constraints of urban density emerges a new form of creativity, one that celebrates adaptability, sustainability, and wellness. Current and future trends point to environments that are not only functional but soulful, not only compact but expansive in meaning. The retreat, whether a single balcony or an entire compact home, becomes a living expression of balance, a balance between humans and nature, technology and silence, individuality and community. And in that balance lies the essence of peace, timeless and universal, shaped within the intimate boundaries of a small but beautifully crafted space.